I want to come back to you because 'cause I was asking you questions about the whole masculine, feminine, and like the softer dudes that you're dealing with in California. And I think where we started to lose your audio, you're talking about guys that are sort of on your page, like honest, good communicator, and you said good with their hands, like they have to be able to build something, sort of thing. So I was asking you, like, do you deal with situations where like flat tires, you can change a flat tire, you clean out the gutters with leaves, like are these all things that you typically do?
Yes. Yeah, I could myself.
Right. Okay. So I mean, you want a guy that obviously takes on the blue jobs, then that takes on more of the masculine role, but you're not finding that a lot with guys. Like, are they just not taught those skills in California, or is it just that men are sort of being like let down with um, culture and society there?
I don't know. Maybe it's just who I come across. I'm sure there are some out here, but as far as like where, that's the question.
I know strong men are out there for a fact because I know several guys out there that are like, I know MMA fighters that could, like rearrange somebody's face in 2 seconds if they wanted to, like strong tough guys. Like I know guys like that out there, so they do exist. It's not like every dude in California is wearing skinny jeans and a man bun sort of thing, and at the male feminist, parades. There's some stronger guys out there. You're just not finding as many as you'd expect, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah. They're just harder to come across, I guess.
Do
You know,
you?
my fault as well, being in, stage maybe there. I mean, I just find that there's a lot that are intimidated, when it comes to someone like me that has everything already.
You're
So,
finding guys are intimidated by you. Why do you think they get intimidated by you?
because, I um already well established with my, career, with my have, my own house, my own and I can do everything myself, which would which is why I would assume that,
Do you think that like the strength that you hold out there, or the intimidation, is part of the problem?
could be. I would say so.
How do you not intimidate a guy?
Honestly, that's a question I'm still trying to answer myself. Not be so, not be myself, I guess.
Well, what part of yourself do you think is intimidating them? Because I mean,
Well,
you can't be anybody else, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I don't know. That's a great question. How do you think that I would do that?
Well,
Like,
I mean, you
what?
did say earlier on, you were talking a lot about the about your successes. I don't need a man. If it happens, it happens, sort of thing. And I think that one of the problems that women sort of stumble themselves into as they sort of navigate through life is they'll spend a part of their earlier years, especially in their 20s, kind of exploring, partying, dating, seeing what's out there, sizing everything up, while chasing the career and climbing the corporate ladder and getting the accomplishments and the awards and the retreats and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Um, and they kind of mold themselves into a guide to some respects. Like one of the things that we'll hear often is, well, I bring a lot to the table. I've got a career, I own a house, I've got my life squared away, I've got my investments, I drive a Tesla. We hear this like over and over again, right? Do you drive a Tesla? Is that why you're smiling?
no.
No. Okay.
I just thought that was funny because that's that's what you find out here in California.
Right. Yeah. So it's like it's pretty common that gals will work themselves in a position where they're like, hey, I'm this successful thing, and if it happens, it happens, sort of thing. And then they run into their 30s and eventually their 40s, and they realize, well, that's not what guys want, and that's not what I wanted, and here I am now, kind of pretty close to my expiry date, right? Or you're getting close to your expiry date anyway. Um, so I think if you're holding yourself out there publicly and strong independent woman, I noticed on your Instagram, like you're pretty feminine, in the way that you hold yourself out, but you're also running a business. It looks like Jello shots or something like that. Is that something you do on the side?
Yeah. Yeah, I do that as well.
What's that? You do that for parties or?
Yeah. Yeah, mainly for parties,
Mhm.
whoever wants Jello shots. I make really like I make a great mixture, so
Mhm.
they're kind of like silent, deadly kind of killers,
Mhm.
because they taste so good. They don't taste like alcohol, so it's so it's just something I did for fun, and it's
Mhm.
actually done pretty well. So
Is that a side hustle that like earns you some money so you get some Jello?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's not not a lot. Just it's mainly just to do something outside of what I normally do.
Mhm. Okay.
I think what's interesting, and I wonder, Brandon, what you think about this, and Rachel, obviously chime in as well. I think it's common to hear things like, I'm a go getter when it comes to my business. I'm very intentional about making money or chasing the degree or getting the professional designation. But when it comes to guys in a relationship and a marriage and kids, it's very often, well, whatever's meant to be will meant to be. Whatever's going to happen is what's going to happen. And I kind of find it interesting, and I'm curious as to why why not just be as intentional with your dating life if your goal is to be married and have children as you would be with like a business and making money and things like that. Is there some sort of taboo nature? Is there some sort of, I'm frowned upon or I'm shamed by other people for doing anything in order to get a man? I mean, I have my own opinions on it, but I'm curious what the two of you think.
Um, well, I was just thinking about what she said earlier about like, well, what do I do? Because like, her work is a big part about her. But whenever it comes to dating, it's not like women can own businesses and be very like intentional and care a lot about that and put a lot of work into that. But when it comes to a relationship, if you put that first and make that your identity, you're just going to attract the wrong type of men. The kind of men that like want someone that's more equal to them rather than being not. It's not that you can't be those things, but I've seen with like friends and people close to me, when they lead with those things, they end up attracting someone that they don't exactly want, and then they wonder like why they keep attracting them.
What does that guy look like that they don't want?
Um, Kind of what she mentioned earlier, just more on the feminine side, just more for me, it's someone who's more not as ambitious, not like very good with settling,
Mhm.
and doesn't really fully understand like the pink jobs, the blue jobs, and the role that a woman can bring to your life that doesn't include her having a business and things like that. I think what Moff said earlier about like why is it a taboo thing, like is that why women don't want to lead with their desires of family? And sometimes I think that way too, because if I were to meet a guy and tell him what I really want, and it's to be a stay-at-home mom and put my husband and my kids first, if a lot of people these days think like, oh, you just don't want to work, like you just everyone has kids, like everyone has kids, so why would you not want to work? And so that just tells me that they don't value like what it is that a woman can bring to your life. That's and then it makes you feel like you have to have some sort of career to be like socially accepted.
But isn't that what society's told men and women for decades now? Woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. You should climb the corporate ladder, make money. You don't need no man. If he shows up, he shows up, sort of thing. Isn't
Right.
that?
And
I mean, like, have have women been lied to?
um I'm not sure who even started that idea to where it's even started, because I think men and women work best together and they offer different things.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure why that's happened. I can tell you that I grew up in a single parent household and I watched my mom do it all, and she
Hmm.
prides herself to this day that she did it all, and she has not had a relationship in many years,
Hmm.
and I she struggles to find someone that like wants to be with or that she wants to be with. And I've lived on that side of a woman that can do it all, and there's no trophy for that. Like
Mm.
there's nothing that you get out of that. Like you can, it's happiness is a choice, yes, but there's nothing that like is that's not something to be prideful of. I'm proud of her that she did that, but
Yeah.
I wish that wasn't the case.
I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.